If you race, I want to know what you think is more important, consistency or outright speed. In terms of consistency, how much time can you give up every single lap and still be able to win a race? Or if you're trying to go as fast as you can, how fast do you need to go to be able to overcome the mistakes trying to go that fast is going to force you to make? You can pause the video right now, go down to the comments, and tell me what you think is more important. Now, I definitely have my own theories on what's more important, and in this video, I did a little bit of a test here on my 10 scale track to kind of give us some data to back up my theories. Now, what I wanted to put to the test was how consistent I could be through some of the tougher obstacles on the track here. The first thing I wanted to test was the two biggest jumps on the track. Now, these jumps are both a challenge. You've got about a 20-foot downhill triple that only gives you about 5 to 8 feet to get squared up and build a little bit of speed to make that jump. So you really got to carry momentum through the corner and find straight quickly to be able to make that jump. After you go through the berm, then you've got an uphill double, only about 15 feet to clear that guy, but what it does is allow you to smoothly land the car and then really accelerate up the straightaway. One of the things that's tough to see on my track is the amount of elevation change, but it's really a game changer out of that corner to be able to double that jump because it allows you to carry so much more speed up the straightaway. So in the test I did, I ran 20 laps, and on both of these jumps, I was able to make it 19 out of 20 times. So 95% of the time, I was able to clear both of these jumps. The one time I missed both of these jumps was separate, but in each case, I had to back off and either double single out of the triple or single that uphill double. And I'm going to save those and show you them a little bit later because I want to talk a little bit more about decision making when it comes to your racecraft. The other section I was testing is our new whoop section. And the whoop section has been a big challenge, but I definitely wanted to back that up with a little bit of numbers. Now, what I was really testing when I looked at the whoop section was if I was able to set myself up to double out of that section, which in turn sets me up better for the left-hander following and the jump immediately after that. And really, each and every time I go through the whoop section, I'm going there with the plan to use that double, again, because it sets me up better for the section following. But the reality is it's just too challenging to hit that line every time. And in 20 laps, I was only able to get it done 15 out of 20. So that's a big drop off from the 95% we saw behind us here on the triple double, all the way down to 75% of the time. Now, the reality of racing is you can't have just speed or just consistency. Obviously, you're going to have both to be competitive and win races. But the conclusion that I'm drawing from these results is the more difficult a section of the track gets, or the more difficult the track gets in general, the more important consistency becomes, okay? So one of the things that you might start doing when you look at a racetrack is think about how difficult one of the obstacles or one of the section is or it gets over the course of the weekend. If you're running one of those 3-day races where the course changes and it develops a lot of character and you have to either switch up your lines or change how aggressive you're being through a section or change the approach you take at a jump section, maybe go double instead of triple, so on and so forth, single, whatever it may be, the more difficult the track gets, the more important consistency is really going to be. And if you want to go back and look at a race where consistency is really the key, go back and look at the 2022 Dirt Nitro Challenge that Ryan Mayfield won the Nitro Buggy class. If you watch his lines throughout the race, he's basically taking the outside of every single corner because the outside is the smoothest part of the track in most corners, and ultimately that's allowing him to be more consistent. So this is just something to think about, and I hope you can use it in your next race to be that much more competitive and have a little bit more success out there. Now, I alluded to before that a couple times I actually missed this double triple section, and I want to show you both of those clips right now. One thing I think you have to learn if you're going to win races and fight for championships is the ability and the intuition to recognize when you're borderline out of control or the position you put yourself in is going to cost you more time in the long run, and that ability to just back off and save time in the long run. Okay, eliminating mistakes and backing out of it when you're about to force a mistake is oftentimes what I think the big difference between a fast guy and then just a flat out amazing driver is. because the person that can back off in that split second and save a minor mistake or just give up a tenth of a second or 2/10 of a second, as opposed to making a big mistake going off the course, ending up upside down, is ultimately what's going to lead to that A, consistency that's going to win your races, and B, saving a ton of time in the long run and putting yourself in a position where you're going to win races. So when you're practicing, one of the things I think you should be looking for is recognizing when to back off. Okay, when you need to not necessarily make a save, but just back off to save yourself from making a big mistake. Some guys are so good at this that you won't even notice it. It won't even look like a mistake. But if you went back and asked them and looked through footage, they're able to pinpoint those little times where they really backed off and saved a mistake from happening. So this really comes down to kind of your racecraft and your approach, and understanding that eliminating mistakes is going to save you a lot of time in the long run and give you a good chance at being up at the front toward the end of the race. Now, I hope this helps you with your races, guys. Consistency and speed are both important. If you want some more ways to better your practice and become a faster driver overall in the long run, I made another video on that. So go ahead and check that guy out right here. But for now, I want to say bye, say thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.